back to another episode of the From the Stands podcast. I'm here back again after a little bit of a hiatus of a week or so. I am back after taking a week off. Mr. Stallone holding down the fort last week, doing an episode by himself and killing it. But yes, we are back for another episode on this 25th day of October. Coming at you on a Friday night with another episode full of big-time storylines. We got a little NBA news starting up, their season and everything. We'll have a little bit of news on that, some history in the making, everything, a little Champions League action as well, and also NFL rolling along pretty nicely here as we get to about the midway point. I guess it's not quite midway, but I'm here with my good buddy Stallone. What do we got going on recently, Stallone? What's new with us? What you got going on? How's the baby? How's everything going over there?
Oh, he's doing great, doing great. Good to have you back, Sammy. Last week was
Thank you.
I guess it was technically this week, but
Yeah,
dude,
Tuesday.
that solo pod was so weird. I was telling you, you texted me after, and I was just like, dude, it felt so weird not to have someone to talk to. I was like just rambling to myself, and I was like, once I got into it, it was a little better, but
Makes me feel important.
yeah, very important. Much needed for my own sanity. But no, baby's doing good. Mama's doing good.
Good.
He's sleeping better at night, which is so nice now. So
But
and not super dead.
Nice.
But been able to go to basketball a couple times. I know you've been there a few times
yeah,
past few weeks as well. Got
Yeah,
Mikey
yeah.
and
been fun.
Peter there. Been a good time. But
Yeah, for sure.
yeah, not a whole lot. Just chilling.
Any big plans for the weekend, or just kind of chilling? As well?
I actually was thinking I almost drove back home because Logan, my youngest brother, for those who don't know,
no big deal. 10 hours, 12 hours.
Yeah, his championship games this weekend, and I really wanted to be there, but I couldn't leave Taylor and the baby alone because Owen can't make the trip.
It's an early championship game. We're only in October. Is it soccer?
They got it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Yeah, they got to do it before they lose too much daylight. So,
that's the most Christian school thing I've ever heard in my life.
Yep. Yeah, because we can't afford to play on fields with actual lights at night.
Right.
So
yeah,
gotta beat the daylight.
Is he still a goalie? I'm assuming.
Yes, he's still goalie. Taking after Jamie. Didn't take after me. Tough. But, yeah, solid. I was gonna do that and decide against it, so I'm here.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Well, that's sad. I wish you would go and watch your brother, but got a baby and a family and stuff, so
responsibilities.
Starting up the pod with a little NFL action, coming straight off the Thursday night game. We had the Vikings and the Rams with a pretty good, well disputed game last night, 30-20. The Rams come out on top, give the Vikings their second loss in a row after a 5-0 start. Sam Darnold struggling a little bit. Matthew Stafford also benefiting from the fact that he had Puka Nacua and Cooper Kupp coming back at the same time, posting some very good stats. Cooper Kupp had 5 receptions, 51 yards, a touchdown. Puka Nacua 7 receptions for over 106 yards. So very solid outings for both their top 2 wide receivers. How huge is it for them to get those 2 guys back? Absolutely massive, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, huge. Definitely for Matthew Stafford. He had 0 weapons. I mean, there was even talks about getting rid of Kupp. I don't think they're getting rid of Kupp anymore.
Not anymore.
No, definitely good to see them back. I mean, we'll talk fantasy in a little bit, but Matthew Stafford's fantasy points were definitely up last night, which will make him a hot QB once again. But yeah, Kupp had 5 receptions, 51 yards, and a TD on his return, and Puka went for 106 yards with 7 receptions. So kind of slotting right back into the offense, kind of hitting their stride. What was Puka out with? I can't even remember his injury. I know Kupp was like a hamstring for a while, even got put on IR. But
yeah,
Puka,
I think he had an ankle, I believe.
Okay,
but I'm not totally sure on that.
Yeah, and it was like early in the season.
Oh, he had a knee.
Too, right?
That's right. It was a knee. Sorry.
Yeah, and it was like really early too. It was like first or second game too.
Literally the first game, I think he got removed. I think pretty late in that one. It was ruled out. So same with Cooper Kupp. It was like first or second game.
Yeah, definitely. So that was one story of the game. But the thing I want to get your thoughts on I didn't watch this game. I don't know if you did. I watched the highlights and commentary about it today, but the blatant face mask, like turning his helmet around, and in the replay, the ref in the back of the end zone's like
Staring right at him.
staring at it, and I was just like, how do you not call that? Like, how is this
Yeah.
allowed? And I just like, well, what did you think about the whole thing?
I mean, obviously, it's a face mask.
Right.
Homie's like just standing about 3 yards behind him, staring like right at the quarterback. I don't know what he was doing, but um, this gave me vibes of like uh when I was playing society at college, and they were just like, "All right, let's finish this game up. I gotta get home," kind of thing.
Yeah, right.
But I mean, yeah, it's pretty blatant. They should have gotten it. It looked even like the refs were almost apologizing to the Vikings and to Sam Darnold and to Kevin O'Connell. They were like, "Yeah, we kind of blew that." But I don't know how you can blow a call like that. To be honest, in real time, it looked like a horse collar and not a face mask. But either way, it's a penalty. So
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
it was pretty bad. And yeah, I mean, in the grand scheme of things, the Vikings weren't winning that game. They still lost by 10. But yeah, it's a tough way to have that be the last play for the Vikings on the night. So
Right, for sure. And I mean the guy that even made the tackle like
yeah,
right
he knew
afterwards, he was just
immediately.
like oh no, oh no. And then always he's like, wait, there's no flag. Like what is like I don't
Exactly.
know.
Did you see what he said afterwards? He was like, "Oh, I couldn't hear because of the crowd or something." Like he was playing to the, like he
dude,
knew. He
that's
was
a
just,
load of
he,
bull.
no, he was like
Oh,
joking about it. He's like, "Oh yeah,
okay.
obviously." Like he knew that
Okay.
he was
I was
saying.
like, there's no way he's saying that like
No,
for
no,
real.
no. He definitely
Like we
wasn't.
all know. We all know. You're not fooling anybody. That's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was just wild ending, like really unfortunate. Like you're saying, the Vikings probably don't win that game regardless,
No.
but
Yeah. I mean, there
it's
was like
just
a
a tough.
minute and some
Yeah.
change left. They weren't. I don't think they were even really going to go down the field and to do anything really. But yeah, like I said, just a tough way to end the series for them. Rams get the dub. That's sitting at 3-4 now. Really with everything to play for. If they can keep Puka and Cooper Kupp on the field, obviously their offense immensely revitalized after that. Still sitting at third in the division, but only a game behind the Seahawks, sitting at 4-3. So they are definitely in the playoff hunt for sure going forward, as they have some pretty winnable games coming up. I believe I think they have the Seahawks next and a head-to-head basically for the top of the division, and then they got Dolphins and Patriots coming up as well. So Dolphins, you think that's usually a scary game, but they haven't been playing too hot, and you'll have Tua coming back. We'll see how he's able to play after coming back from yet another concussion injury. But yeah, the Rams are looking good going forward for sure. Speaking of being afraid of other teams, we have the Chiefs. I feel like we're
Yeah.
always mentioning the Chiefs every single week
Always.
here, aren't we?
Yeah.
They're making the news. Obviously, as Fezzy Boy talked about, they picked up another dub over the weekend. As we're pretty accustomed to at this point, they're sitting in a nice 6-0. But the rich get richer. They trade
Uh-huh.
for DeAndre Hopkins, one of the top receivers in the NFL. I wouldn't say he's quite like top 5 or anything, but I'd probably say he's around the top. What would you say? 15?
Oh yeah, for
Put it
sure.
at
In that
15.
15. Yeah.
I know in his prime he was definitely top 5, but obviously a little bit older now. They're also rumored to be shopping, or no, sorry, not shopping, but be interested in Cooper Kupp when the Rams were shopping him around a little bit, kind of looking for a trade. But like Fez said a little bit earlier, doesn't look like they're going to be trading him anytime soon, especially not after that performance against the Vikings. What do you think about this move? Obviously, the Chiefs need a little bit of help in the receiver room after they had Rashee Rice go down a little bit earlier in the season. Do you think this moves the needle for the Chiefs? It's just the rich get richer. What do you say you?
Um, kind of like what you were saying, like back in the day, D Hop was for sure like top 10, top
Mm-hmm.
maybe even top 5 wide receiver in the league. Hard to say because he hasn't played with the best caliber of quarterbacks there at Tennessee and
Right.
before that Cardinals. I think they had a decent run when they opened the season like 8-0, but obviously that didn't amount to anything. So loads of experience, veteran presence in the locker room, but
Mm.
he's going to a team with a great head coach, great quarterback that makes everybody better. So I wouldn't be surprised if he fits right in. learns the offense, and he becomes a huge weapon for Patrick Mahomes. Obviously, you know, these like kind of like a Devontae Adams. He's not as fast as he once was, but his route running is really what he hangs his hat on, and he can just be shifty and savvy, and um, if you can get open, Patrick Mahomes is going to find you. So it could be really scary. And I mean, once they get healthy, that's the scary thing right now. Chiefs are 6-0, haven't looked great, and
In
not
any of
very
their games.
haven't looked great, but like they just find ways to win. It's just like you're watching the game and you're like you don't even get excited when it's close because you're just like what's
Chiefs are
gonna
gonna win.
happen. Exactly. It's kind of like
Yeah.
the Patriots all over again. But I don't know. It's too early to tell if it moves the needle, but it definitely could be scary if it really works out for them.
Yeah, I definitely think that Xavier Worthy is gonna profit from this a lot. Obviously, he had the couple big games really early on. Then with Rashee Rice going down, his productivity had really gone down a lot. Even though he's obviously really dangerous as a speedster and a guy that can catch the ball deep. But with Hopkins, obviously garnering some more attention, I think that's really going to open up the field and really have some possibilities for him to get into open field and into open space a little bit more. So we'll see how they're kind of able to apply DeAndre Hopkins to their offense and see what kind of plays they're able to draw up. I think Andy Reid's going to be able to use him to the biggest part of his game and kind of get him going. So yeah, it's I think it's scary just because obviously the Chiefs haven't been the Chiefs this whole year and they're sitting at 6-0, which is absolutely
Yeah.
insane. So obviously they're hanging on their defense a lot, but yeah, I'd be scared for the rest of their division for sure. Obviously, they've won it like 6-7 years in a row, but so yeah.
Crazy.
Hopping over to the AFC. I guess we're already in the AFC, but we have Tua coming back for the Dolphins. He's finally exiting the concussion protocol, expected to play versus the Cardinals. You think Tua should have retired, hung him up, or what? He's coming back. Somebody asked him if he's going to be wearing a Guardian cap, protect his head. He's like, nah, personal preference, baby.
Yeah.
We're just rocking with it. So
I mean, dude, like, dude, he's gotten clocked in the head so many times. Like at this point,
so
I feel
bad,
like
dude.
the wind could blow sideways and he'd have a concussion. I really hope he's okay and he kind of like learns to go down. But I mean, at the end of the day, he's right. It's personal preference. It's personal choice. I guess I was seeing some articles saying that his neurologist actually said that like didn't advise him to retire, so it wasn't as bad as people thought.
Yeah.
But I mean, if I was in his
I,
position, I would have a hard time hanging it up too. Like that's what you've done your whole life, worked your whole life for. So
yeah. I guess if you don't know anything else, it's hard to hang it up. But I don't know, man. Like obviously the money is really good and everything, but I mean, dude, this is like the third time we've seen Tua go down. He has the scissor hands thing and everything. It's just
yeah,
scary stuff, man. Like I don't know. And like concussions, you don't just like it's not like, you tweak a knee or something a few weeks later you're good to go. Like that stuff like
it
not that it
lingers.
never goes away, but it lingers. Like it lingers for months. Like I don't know if you've ever had a concussion, but obviously there's different levels and everything, but like your head will just like throb and feel like it's about to explode at random times and stuff. So
Yeah.
it's just I don't know, man. Like
Have
big
you had a
props to
concussion?
him. I had like a minor one, I think, when I was in high school. Like
Mm.
nothing major at all, but like I think it hung around for like a couple weeks or something. But like it was just like random moments you get like a headache or something. Like mine was very very minor, but
Yeah.
and I just know how a lot of that stuff works with like concussions and stuff, just because I've watched sports and stuff and heard a lot about it. But
Yeah.
um,
I mean, I don't think I've had one. The only time I would think that I had one, um, it was a all-star game, soccer, and I went up for a header and I broke my nose on the play, but the guy like hit me like kind of like right in the eye, like
mm,
face area.
yeah.
And the only reason I say I think I might have had one was because that game was filmed. And so, there goes my lights. That game was filmed and
Please.
yeah, it's back. It's back. No, I'll get him in the next segment. But no, uh, anyways, that game was filmed, and I was watching it back, and all I remember was going up and then being on the ground. and I had like rolled over a couple
You
times.
got
And
knocked
I
out then.
don't even remember any
Wow.
of that. And I was just like, wait a minute, that happened. So I was like, dude, I blacked out there. I was like, dang. And I went out, and Micah's mom, who's a nurse, checked me out. She's like, yeah, you can go back in. If you get hit in the nose, it'll hurt real bad. And I was like, sweet, let's go. And I got at this tournament, it was they called it MOP, most outstanding player. So I got that for the game. but
There you go.
but
Pushing
yeah,
through for that
it was
mop.
it was probably honestly that little stinger, but I was fine. Wasn't woozy. Remembered what day of the week it was, and we were good.
Yeah, you were probably fine. No, I'm just kidding.
Probably. Maybe.
But yeah, so big props to him for coming back. We'll see how he's able to rejuvenate that offense. Has been really struggling since he's gone down. Obviously, a lot of especially Tyreek Hill, really struggling after he doesn't have his quarterback Jalen Waddle as well. So we'll see if they're able to get something going. Their division is so winnable right now; it's not even funny. Like the Jets are a mess. The Patriots aren't even a threat. So if they can get it going, could see them win. I guess they still have Buffalo to deal with. So Buffalo will probably end up winning that division now. But so yeah, we'll see. Closing out the NFL talk. I don't know, we haven't really talked about any games really too much, but we'll talk about that next week after we recap next week's fantasy football. Fezzy boy, how we doing? How we doing?
We ain't doing good, bro. We ain't doing good at all.
Give us a rundown of your teams here, huh?
Okay, all right. This week's starting lineup. Obviously, we got the old trusty Jordan Love at the quarterback position. We got A-Chain back, running back. I picked up Bigsby, and he actually worked well for me last week. Unfortunately, I lost to Jamie because he had Derrick Henry, so what you gonna do? You did. I didn't see this when I was looking at it on the computer, but now that I'm in the app, Alan Lazard is doubtful. I didn't even see did he get hurt last game, or was this like a training thing?
I think it's like a lingering thing that he's been dealing with. I'm not exactly sure, to be honest.
Or he's like, I'm not getting any targets anymore with Devontae there. So he's like, I'm out. Okay, set. He doesn't want to get traded like Mike Williams about to get traded.
I was literally about to say, I feel like that would be Mike Williams if anybody, but
yeah. So I got to switch him out. Like all I got on my bench that I'll probably switch him out for is probably Worthy, who hasn't done well, but on waivers I picked up McConkey. Is that his last
Lad
name?
McConkey, yeah.
Lad
from
McConkey.
Georgia.
Yeah, picked him up. He's questionable. And then I got tight end Kittle, who, speaking of Tyreek, I traded a couple weeks back. I traded for Tyreek for Kittle. It's worked out so far, but with Tua coming back, like, let's just pray that Tua is not the same. When it comes to football, we hope that he's happy and healthy, personally. But in football, let's hope it's not working out, so the trade looks good. But right now, it could be really bad. Then in my flex, I got Devontae Smith.
Preying on Tua's downfall once again.
Yeah, it's not good. Chiefs, my special teams and defense. And then we got old Boswell bringing up the rear, the kicker. But
there you go.
Yeah, that's my starting lineup. Sammy, give us the rundown of the perfect starting lineup.
I don't know about perfect. I'm still sitting at a good old 3-4 right now. So
yeah, this league,
but
this
honestly,
league ain't good.
I can see myself winning like a bunch of games in a row. For some reason, Jathan dropped in one move J.K. Dobbins and Tony Pollard and picked up Daniel Jones. So I hopped on both of those boys real quick. So
yeah,
and they're both projected in the 15s like every week. So I hopped on that really, really quick. So my lineup's looking really good. They're all projected like at least 15 points or so. We got Kyron Williams, which, by the way, everyone was hating on me for early on in the season for picking him in the first round.
Such a good pickup.
He's automatic 20 points. So pretty happy with him. We got J.K. Dobbins, A.J. Brown, Malik Neighbors, who's projected 18 points. Hopefully he does well after his concussion struggles. Brock Bowers, number one tight end in the league. Kareem Hunt, who might struggle after Isaiah Pacheco comes back, but for now he's projected 16 points. Doing very well for the Chiefs. My bench is looking pretty decent as well. Got Josh Jacobs, James Conner, George Pickens, who I'm trying to get rid of. Any takers out there for George Pickens, let me know. Jaden Reed, Tony Pollard. So looking pretty decent, but
Not bad.
We'll see.
Are we
We'll see.
about to make a live trade right here, right now? Dude, I'll take some Pickens action. What do you want? I probably don't have
no one
anybody
on your
you
team.
want. Yeah, I was going to say, like, who do you want? You want Matty Stafford? I'll give you Matty and
George Pickens.
Kincaid.
Oh, I have a quarterback.
Yeah, who is your quarterback?
I was kind of fishing. My quarterback is CJ Stroud, who has been struggling recently, but
that's right.
I have enough in my
Yeah, you want
players.
old trusty Matthew Stafford? He ain't struggling.
No.
No, I literally have nothing.
Dude.
I dropped stinking Kirk Cousins and they popped off. I could have traded him so fast. Oh,
dude,
crap.
The only player I would even be interested in on your team is probably Devontae Smith. And even he had a really bad game against the Giants, but you probably wouldn't want to give him up anyway. Anyways,
yeah, probably not.
We don't need to get into this a ton because people are bored. But anyway, that's our fantasy football team. I'm at 3-4. Fez is at 1-6. Fez, you gotta step it up there, buddy boy. Who are you playing this week, by the way?
I'm playing Nathan, and like I said, he's projected 120, and I'm projected. Well, with Alan Lazard,
again,
I'm
yeah,
101. So
right, exactly. So you'll bring it up a little bit. But
let's switch.
Yeah,
it's tough. Tough out here for a little Fez.
How do you feel like? This is the last thing I'll say about it. How do you feel having done so much? You probably did 2 or 3 times the amount of research I did for this. You're still sitting at 1-6, about to get that punishment for last in the league.
Yeah, no.
Whatever the punishment was.
If I don't make playoffs, I ain't doing this next year. I ain't doing it
for real.
And it's not even like because I can handle being picked on for being terrible. I just hate being terrible and trying. It's like that's the definition of insanity. Like trying and doing the same thing over and over with the same result. But I don't want to do that.
But you didn't do the same thing. You did something different. You put a lot of effort and research into it.
Yeah, that's the worst part. Trying to get better and not getting better.
Did you draft most of the players on your team, or did you have injuries, or what? Like, what would you say was the downfall of your team, since we're on the subject?
Downfall of my team was my number 1 pick, Tyreek Hill, hasn't worked out, and he's probably going to end up working out. Yeah, I got rid of him, and yeah, so I would say it's my number 1 running back and my number 1 wide receiver, Tyreek Hill, haven't worked out. My number 1 running back's ETN, and he's literally done horrible. And then
ETN is
And then I guess my starting sleeper hasn't worked out. I thought it was going to. The first game, Xavier Worthy had 22 points. I was like, dude, this is great. And then after that, I think he's averaged about 6. So
A-Chain not coming on for you too, right?
No, he's not. He's not doing great.
He was what, 2nd round pick or something?
Yeah, something like that. But
Kincaid. Yeah. Anyways,
he didn't work out either. But it's great. It's whatever. We're going to punt on the season. If anybody wants some players near the end to try to get into the playoffs, I'll be shopping everything.
Everyone must go.
Everyone must go. Empty slots last week of the season.
What's the minimum amount of players that you can rock with? Can you have just an empty roster in there?
You probably, as long as you probably have your starting quarterback, they'll be like, yeah, you can play this week.
Anyway,
I don't know.
That's the fantasy football recap. I know you guys love to. At this point, it's just a segment of me picking out Stallone for his team, but I'm not much better. I'm sitting at 3-4, like I was saying, but with hope for the future. So
that's right.
We'll see how that turns out for me. But yeah, that kind of concludes our NFL and fantasy football talk. We'll touch a little bit on college football here because Fezzy Boy wanted to talk about this so much. Syracuse playing last night. Syracuse is always playing on a Thursday or Friday. What's up with that? I don't really know why they never play on Saturday, but I digress. They get absolutely destroyed by number 19 Pitt. Kyle McCord, who everyone was thinking was like, oh man, this is a good quarterback. Syracuse finally has a good quarterback. He's from Ohio State, blah, blah, blah. 5 INTs.
Yeah.
Five. Three pick sixes in the first quarter or half? I think it was quarter.
First half. That was first quarter, yeah. 3 in the first quarter.
Absolutely
Their first 3
insane.
drives were 3 pick sixes.
Absolutely insane.
That in itself is a bad game, and then he went on to throw 2 more.
Yeah, 41-13 was the final score. I remember looking at this, and I don't remember if it was Micah or who I was talking to, but I was like, how is McCord still in the game when he had 0 touchdowns, 5 interceptions in the fourth quarter? Like, even if you're not like trying to boost his whatever, like you're putting your backups in when the game is out of control and he's through 5 interceptions.
Yeah.
Anyways, what's
Man,
going on
that's
with
the
all
thing.
Syracuse football? Are you guys going to do the typical Syracuse thing and you
It
win
looks
your
like
first
it.
5 games and you lose all 6 to go 5-6 and not make a bowl game again, or what?
Yeah, that's exactly what's happening right now. It's happening before our eyes. Kyle McCord, literally the savior of Syracuse, is turning to the demise. Like if you think about it, take away the 3 pick sixes, that's 21 points. So we hold them to, they only scored 21. It's 21-13, close game. 3 pick sixes in the first quarter. The game was done and dusted after that. Like, it
Oh
doesn't
my
matter what happens
goodness.
after. And our defense is actually playing well until he threw more interceptions. And then the offense is like, well, I guess we should probably do something if they just want us to have the ball this much. So, I mean, it was really Kyle McCord's fault because we were right in that game. If take away
all of it on McCord.
dude, if you're gonna come in and be like the savior of the team and you throw 5 interceptions, of course we're gonna bury you. Do better.
Just
Frick
buried
off,
him.
man. Yeah. I'm gonna bury him, put a headstone there, and dance on his grave.
Oh, wow.
He better show up next week. Well, the reason I'm so stinking pissed is because he made me care. And he's just rubbing my freaking feelings in the freaking dirt.
I don't
Just
think I've ever
spit
seen you
on it.
so animated about anything in sports before.
No, that's what ticks me off, is because I didn't give 2 craps about Syracuse football. That Kyle McCord's just like, dude, I'm throwing 4 touchdowns in 2 games. They're like, dude, we have a quarterback, and then he does this.
Oh man,
So of
yeah,
course it's gonna be bad.
it doesn't help he's not mobile either. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, exactly,
It's
dude.
like a statue
Dude looks
back
like
there.
freaking looks like Eli Manning running out there.
Yeah.
Now Eli's catching strays. Sorry, Eli.
Do you think that you guys are going to put a couple dubs together here? I mean, that was a pretty good team. They were ranked and everything.
As long as we ain't playing Pitt, we'll be fine. As long as Kyle McCord, dude,
oh man,
he literally had just as many
UConn
interceptions in one game that he's had the whole season.
Yeah, that's absolutely insane.
It doesn't help that we have a running game and literally Pitt's just like, all right, Kyle McCord's throwing the ball, grab it, like, and we can't protect him. Our offensive line's so bad.
The funny thing is that y'all are 5-2. Like, you're
I
not
know
terrible.
we're doing all right.
Granted,
If we beat Pitt, we would have been ranked 23rd. Guaranteed.
Probably, honestly,
we would have been ranked 23rd, feeling great.
Granted, some of your
but we beat a ranked Georgia Tech, and then we would have beat a ranked Pitt. Like,
yeah, those are solid wins. Yeah, it's okay. You only need 1 win out of your last 5 games here to get bowl eligible. So at least you'll have that. At least you're not FSU, okay? FSU is
that's true.
Absolutely out. They're like 1-6 or whatever. So and they
True.
started out number 10.
But
in the
he made
country,
me care, and that's why I'm mad.
Well, that rant was all time. Hopefully we can clip that and post that or something.
Clip that. All right.
But anyway, that's really the only thing as far as college football that we wanted to talk about. Obviously, all the games that are coming up this Saturday. I know we have some pretty decent ranked games, I believe. I'm not really sure right off the top of my head if we have any really good ranked versus ranked. I believe Notre Dame is going to be playing Navy, which I think is kind of one of the bigger games this week because Navy. This is kind of cool, actually. I'm surprised we haven't talked about this. Navy and Army are both undefeated and ranked for like the first time in like decades, which I think is like super cool. I think it's the first time they've both been undefeated since '94 or something like that, and the first time they've both been ranked and undefeated at this point of the season since like the 50s or something. And back then, Army and Navy used to run college football. So,
literally,
I'm not even kidding. Like the service academies used to be like just absolutely destroying,
like next level,
yeah, like insanely good. So it's kind of cool to see them. But yeah, that's kind of the marquee game I think this week. I think Texas is going to Vanderbilt, and then we also have Florida State Miami, which isn't great. And then maybe another SEC matchup that I can't really think of off the top of my head. So nothing crazy. It's not like a Georgia Alabama or anything like that this week, but we'll still come at you with a little bit of a recap next week about what was going on in college football. But you got the lowdown about what has happened with Syracuse. So with that, we'll end it here for college football.
Hopping over the pond, World Soccer. We're gonna do a little Prem preview of both of our teams in action this week. Kind of the two of the bigger games this week. Sammy Boy was not here last week to lament the woes of losing to Bournemouth in the Saliba. Just quickly, was that a red card?
No.
No? All right, cool.
No, I'm
Moving
just
on.
playing. Tough. I still say no, not because I'm an Arsenal fan. I think Ben White could have gotten over there, and like you don't really see, like the foul occurred at half, and it's not like it was a dead sprint counterattack. It was like, all right, the ball's going over there. They start to run together, get tangled up, takes the guy down.
Yeah.
I would have given a yellow, but I can see why it's a red, I guess. So
yeah,
tough.
Yeah, I'm not even an Arsenal fan, and I think I think I said it on the pod this past week. I agree. I think letter to the law, he had to give a red, but like, dude, it was like 5 yards past half. Ben White's getting there. He's not even all the way on the other side. In the camera view that he looked at VAR, you couldn't see Ben White, but it's like you can't go off a camera view. Like it's zoomed in.
Right.
Like just because you can't see the player in the frames, like, oh yeah, he's not going to get there. These are world-class athletes. Of course he's getting there. Anyways, I digress. Looking
Great
ahead,
reason for that. Great reason. Professional, of course he's going to make it.
Of course. Just be logical, you stupid idiot. I'm just going at everybody now. I'm hype. I'm hot from that Kyle McCord take.
Really.
Anyways, you guys got a big matchup coming up. 1 versus 3, Arsenal versus Liverpool. This will be a good test for you guys. What do you think the outcome's going to be, and how do you see you guys lining up?
Oh man, I don't know. We've always had some injury issues. Saliba going down doesn't really help us. I'm seeing a bunch of news articles saying that Saka is going to come back. Whether we'll get 100% Saka or kind of 50 to 75% Saka, we'll see. Obviously, it's a great spark. We've been having to start Raheem Sterling and Trossard and Mikel Merino. That's our kind of our midfield / winger situation right now. So not great, but obviously we got Rice back after a little bit of a suspension after the North London derby, red card. So hopefully we get some guys coming back. Obviously we still have Jesus, Martinelli starting to get back into the fold as well. So I'm hoping that we can kind of put something together against Liverpool. Obviously number one for a reason. They're humming with their new manager and everything. So hopefully we can get hopefully something kind of like the Man City game, get a goal early, not pack the box, obviously, because we had to pack the box against City because we had that stupid red card. But just kind of get a goal early, be able to settle into the game. Hopefully we can get at least a tie. But I was kind of telling my buddy at work today, I don't know what it is. I just don't see us pushing Man City all the way to the end like we have the last few years. I think Liverpool can. I think they're kind of made for it. But for us, I don't think we're deep enough, just like kind of like the last few seasons. But I thought after our transfers this year, I was like, all right, we're getting deeper. This is great, blah, blah, blah. But, just injuries have hit us like a truck. Guys getting suspended. Like, it's just kind of a lot of different moving pieces going on. So I'm not saying that, we don't have a chance. I think we'll definitely be at least top. Would probably be in third, honestly. But I don't know. I just hope that we can push them to the end as well. But Man City, I don't know. I guess I take that back just a little bit because they don't have Rodri for the rest of the season. So that's the huge element to their midfield and to their offense and everything. So, but yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I'm rooting for you guys. I love to see. I think Chelsea's not going to be pushing for the top of the table. So I would just love to see like a
y'all are fourth,
3-horse
right?
race.
Yeah.
What's that?
Y'all were fourth, right?
We were until we lost. Who'd we lose to? Liverpool. We lost to Liverpool, so that's not a bad team to lose to. But we did lose last week.
Man, that bumped y'all down to 7. Goodness.
Yeah, it did. Just because Aston Villa and a couple other teams.
Everybody's scrunched together there now. Yeah.
Yeah, it's still early. Like definitely. The dust hasn't settled yet. Pretty soon, like you were saying, it will end up being like. Unfortunately, I do see it the same way. Liverpool and Manchester City kind of swapping up at the top, and then you guys kind of like floating there. But like, I don't know if Liverpool and Man City drop a few games. Who knows? But yeah, speaking of Chelsea, we're sitting at clear 7th place in the Premier League right now. We play Newcastle this coming week, which will be a good test. Newcastle obviously not doing what they were doing a couple years ago, but still a formidable opponent. Hopefully we get right back on track because, like I was saying, that last game against Liverpool really was kind of lackluster. Palmer was nowhere to be found. And Liverpool really, just their experience, it was shining through, especially their back line with Van Dijk, and then like even bringing Gomez on late, just someone who really relishes playing 1v1. So I mean, it was just lack of experience, and that's gonna hurt us regardless of who we play because we're just so young. But hopefully we can turn things around this week against a good side in Newcastle. Not a great side, but a good side for sure. Moving it right along, I highlighted the Tuesday Champions League games. Obviously, AC Milan got a huge win. Did you see Pulisic's Olympico?
I did not.
Yeah. It wasn't that great because he wasn't trying to do it, but I did make
Oh boy.
the point that like he's showing signs of being like top class because like you get to a point where like you're playing so well and you're so confident that you're just doing good things, so good things happen, and that was kind of like highlighted in that Olympico. Like great ball in, Murata kind of missed it, threw off the two defenders and the goalie, and it slipped in. Everyone just missed
Alright.
it. But like when you're playing well, good things are gonna happen. So
Yeah.
kind of highlighted that. The only like you were going through them, and you can talk a little bit about it, but
Yeah, really the only
not many
games.
good games.
No, yeah, there was Dortmund and Real Madrid, I think on Tuesday. Dortmund, this was a rematch of the Champions League final from last year. Dortmund got out to a 2-0 advantage. I was like, oh, okay, Dortmund.
Yeah.
But then Real Madrid, in typical Madrid fashion and also in typical Dortmund fashion, 5-2 was the final score in favor of the old Real Madrid. So they obviously kicked it into gear. They're like, all right, let's start trying now. It's just kind of dispatched of old Dortmund, and Dortmund always choking away leads. Story of their entire existence. So, but yeah, unfortunate for Dortmund. Obviously, Madrid doing Madrid things. Madrid have kind of struggled a little bit as of late, not necessarily in results, but just not winning games as convincingly as you'd hope that they would win. Just in the league, a couple 3-2s, a couple 2-1s. Mbappe not playing as well as you'd think, which mainly is in part because they're trying to play him as a striker instead of as a winger like he needs to be playing. But yeah, just not the Madrid that we're used to seeing, just steamrolling teams left and right. But yeah, solid win for them. They obviously have Barcelona coming up in at the weekend, which we'll touch on in a second. But yeah, except for that, I think there's only just Barcelona and Bayern. Barcelona get a huge dub against Bayern, 4-1 with a Rafinha hat trick. I think Hansi Flick was the right hire there, which I kind of knew from the beginning. To be honest, he's always been a good
Yeah, for
coach, but
sure.
he's got those boys humming. Since when do we see Barcelona over Bayern? Usually it's the other way around with Bayern beating them by big time score lines like that 8-2 that's so famous. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, definitely. Barca coming off that huge win against Bayern, and I was seeing a stat where it was whoever wins that matchup in the Champions League usually is winning the treble that year. Not saying that's going to happen this year, but the past two times that uh the past two times when Barca won, they were on a treble run, and when Bayern won, they were on a treble run. So like, I don't know.
well, neither one of
Barcelona
them
is playing
are
well.
winning the treble this year. So
You think?
no, neither one of them.
No?
Mm-mm.
I mean, Barca's playing well. You
Barca
don't think
not winning a treble, bro. They're not winning the Champions League. They had a good game.
they you don't think they could win the Champions League
No.
with a performance like that?
Yeah, but Bayern's not as good as they have been in like the team that beat Barcelona 8-2, for example. That was like a few years ago. That
Yeah.
team was just like other like the Bayern now, they're mixed with like old players that used to be good. Thomas Muller's still starting. There's a couple players that have left. There's like it's not the same Bayern that we're used to. But it's also
Yeah,
not the same
that's true.
Barcelona that we're used to. So
That's
um
true. That's true.
I
That's
think they could
true.
give Madrid a good run in the league for sure. And the cup, yeah, I mean, yeah, obviously they could win the cup, but I just don't see
Yeah.
them winning the Champions League, but we'll see.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good segue into La Liga this weekend. We got El Clasico. I'm kind of hyped for this one, not gonna lie. Both teams. Well, here's the thing: Barcelona's playing well, and Real Madrid's doing all right, but they got star power, which makes it really interesting. And
Yeah.
obviously, when you're playing your rivals, you step it up a notch anyway. So
Hmm.
this is the first time I've really been kind of excited for a Clasico in like quite some time
Yeah,
because
they finally
I
have that
mean,
marquee guy in Mbappe too, even if he doesn't necessarily have his, his big rival on the other side, like who would that be, Lewandowski or Rafinha or whatever.
right.
It's still, one of the best player or one of the top two players in the world, I would say, playing
Hmm.
for a Madrid or a Barcelona is fun to see again. So
Yeah, definitely. I mean, obviously, it's not going to stop the world like Messi and Ronaldo did, but
hmm
still going to be heated and got
yeah, I don't
got a
think we're
lot of
ever
young
gonna get
talent.
those back in our lifetime, man. I don't. It's
Dude, we
unfortunate,
had it
but
good. We had it good.
it wasn't just
Um,
them too. Like the whole team, dude. Like legends everywhere. But
yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
oh well.
Yeah. Speaking of Messi and Ronaldo, Messi in the news, um, with Inter Miami obviously winning the Supporters Shield
Bro.
and breaking the MLS points record this season, but just this past couple weeks, FIFA came out and the Supporter Shield winner from the MLS is in the Club World Cup. Sammy, What is your reaction to this not well kept secret?
So incredibly dumb. Like it's just not like they're just not even hiding it at this point. They're trying to
No.
they he's in the running for the MVP in the MLS because I don't even he missed half the season with injury, but they're gonna give it to him anyway. We already know who's gonna win that. And yeah,
Hmm.
just with the Club World Cup, like it's just like why? Like the Supporter Shield isn't even like a real like they didn't win it. Like they won the regular season.
Hmm.
They're not even winning the play. Like they could win the play. They probably will win the playoffs, if
Hmm.
the MLS officials have anything to say about it. Um, but yeah, it's just completely dumb. They haven't won anything, but they get this special invite because they need somebody from the United States. The Club World Cup is for like the Champions League winners and like the
Hmm.
Champions League from each continent. Inter Miami
Hmm.
haven't done anything of the sort. They've won the regular season in the MLS, and that's it. So
Hmm.
I just think it's ridiculous. We've come pretty used to, getting these these Mickey Mouse invites and just getting handed trophies and individual awards and stuff. I think this takes it to a next level. I mean, even though they have a couple decent I can't imagine they're going to do good in the tournament. Even though
Yeah,
there's
no.
a bunch of teams in there that I guess technically they have a chance against, but I just don't see it. But it's sad what I feel like everything is just becoming so corrupt and Mickey Mouse. Like it's like I feel like I'm not even like obviously I'm a Ronaldo guy over Messi, but like stuff like this makes Messi less likable to me, and it's not even his fault. Like
Right.
you're disliking like the what can you call it? Like the agenda, the journalist, the even Infantino, the president of FIFA. Like he's at every Messi match. I'm like, dude, what are you? You're the president of FIFA. Why are you watching an MLS match right now? Like,
Hmm.
yeah, like I said, it's not even Messi's fault, I guess, but yeah, I don't know why they think they need to give him like everything, even though he's done everything right, but you still need to give him everything. I don't know, whatever. What say you as the Messi fan?
I think it's ridiculous as well. Like, I mean, it's so blatant because like you're saying, we're not like if you're gonna reward the MLS getting in, like reward the team that wins the whole thing,
Yeah,
not wins the
or the
dang
champion from
supporter
last
shield.
year. Yeah,
Yeah, the champion from last year or whatever, like the dang supporter shield. Like, what's that mean? Yeah, you had the most points, you had the best record in the MLS, but there's still playoffs. Like,
and,
I'm sure in Europe that's how it works, but like that's not even how it works in Europe.
right. And what are we? When is this tournament? January? Is that correct?
Something like that, yeah,
So
2025.
so
Like,
we'll have an MLS champion by 2025, do we not? So why
exactly,
can't we
exactly.
wait until then? Why? Because we're not guaranteed that Miami's going to win it, and Miami won the supporters shields. Oh, yeah, we'll put them in for that. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
what are we
They waited
doing,
until they won something and they were like, oh, yeah, this is. So
bro?
what are you going to do? Like, what happens next year when they're like, well, the supporter shield, like, we
So
don't think that's quite what will get you in now?
exactly. So two questions: do we think that So are they putting the MLS Cup champions in there for this year?
I don't know.
I don't
I
think
don't
they
know.
are. Second of all, do you
Yeah.
think that if Miami didn't win the Supporters Shield, do you think they would have gotten in on their Campeones Cup or whatever they won last
Dude,
year?
probably. They probably would have put them in
Oh
like,
my
what a
goodness,
great season in
bro.
the MLS, broke the MLS like season points record. You're in.
Yikes, bro.
Like, dude,
It's crazy.
as a Messi fan, I love Messi like
Yeah.
all day long, but this is quite ridiculous, and I totally get people not liking him based on like other people loving him. Like it is annoying, like
Yeah.
it really is. And to boot, Miami's hosting the opening game as well. Like
No
Miami,
way.
we're not having it at like
Uh,
MetLife. We're not having it in Atlanta. Like
it can't
Miami
be like
of all places.
Madrid or like AC Milan, who has an American on their team now. It's just I don't even know if AC Milan's in it, but yeah, it can't be one of the top-notch clubs that we
Right.
have rolling into America around this time next year. It's got to be Inter Miami.
Yeah. No,
Yikes,
definitely
bro.
absolutely ridiculous. It is so like we talk about like nepotism. What's this even called? Like what would you call this? Like
Corruption.
n- corruption,
I don't
yeah,
know, man.
of the highest order. My stinking lights keep going off. This is I don't even they don't normally go off. Anyways,
Yeah, I'm not sure.
yeah,
I'm gonna.
we're both heated. Ronaldo fans and Messi fans alike find it quite
So
ridiculous for sure.
I did a little research. Inter Miami are the only team in North America to qualify, having not won the CONCACAF Champions Cup, Champions League. There's the winners from the 21, 22, 23, and 24 winners of the CONCACAF Champions League, and then there's Inter Miami.
Yeah, it's
So
all money. It's
it's
all money. There's no sanctity, especially in America when it comes to America. And then FIFA is just as corrupt. So they're like, yeah, sure, take a hefty paycheck from America to get Messi in there.
and
Why
to
not?
boot, yeah, this tournament doesn't start till next summer, so we had plenty
Yeah,
of time to name a champion. Yeah, it's ridiculous, but
it's
it's okay.
stupid.
I
It's
digress.
stupid. Yeah, let us know in the comments what you guys think. Is it ridiculous? Because we definitely think that if you didn't get the hint. But
Mhm.
yeah, that's gonna do it for the soccer portion of the podcast. We'll see come next summer if Miami's up to snuff. All right, and in the podcast with basketball, the NBA season is in full swing now. We had opening night the other night, and the biggest highlight from opening night, obviously, Bron and Bronny making history, the first father-son duo in the NBA to play at the same time on the same court. Like, wild, dude. Like, I'm not a huge LeBron fan. I respect him as a player, but like his longevity is insane. Like he's taking care of his body. He's hasn't had like I can't recall a major injury. Like when's the
Mhm.
last time he's been like severely injured where he's like missing seasons and stuff like that? Dude's
I
been like
think he
super
was on the
healthy and it's
Heat
paid off.
last time he was injured for a significant portion, but
What was that? Did he
I
hurt
don't
his knee or
remember.
something? Probably
I
broke something.
don't remember. I know he's been hurt off and on for the Lakers, but not like months out or anything like that. I don't think so.
Right. But yeah, just a huge accomplishment to play with your son. Like, I mean, we've all watched Bronny grow up because he's been in the limelight because of his dad, and now obviously people are split on the reasons he's in the NBA. He
Whack,
looks serviceable.
whack,
He looks serviceable.
whack.
Yeah, you're not for it.
Nah,
Again, split even on this podcast. I think he's serviceable.
good
I
point.
just saw that he's actually going to sign a two-way, so he's going to
So
be in the G League for a
so
majority
so
of
what
this
about
season.
his stat line made you think that he was serviceable? Was it his 3 minutes or his one rebound?
Well, I think the only reason
That's probably it.
I say no, the only reason no, like for real, the only reason that I say that he's serviceable is because I was that type of player too. Like I literally averaged 6 points my whole
The
entire
the
basketball
the one
career.
rebound or the 3 minutes?
Like
I'm
what do
just
you wait,
playing.
what? The one
That was
rebound
his
of the three
stat
what?
line. 3 minutes, one
Oh, I
rebound,
see.
0.06. That's
Yeah,
his
I
stat
also
line.
saw a stat where like he came in and they were like up by like 15, and then like when he left the game, they were only up by like 5. So maybe I have more hope than like maybe I just they were just
Stallone was that
glass
player.
half full. I
Just
was
play.
that guy. Put me in now and I'll still be that guy. 1 rebound, 3 minutes. I could be Bronny.
Yeah.
Anyways, it's just a pretty. Sorry,
ahead.
what were you gonna say?
Mhm.
No, you go ahead.
I was just gonna say why I think yeah, it's a great moment for LeBron. Like you were saying, I love his longevity. Like obviously I'm not a huge LeBron fan, but like even I'm big enough to admit that his longevity is just absolutely insane. To be 40 years old or whatever he is, and to still be like an all-star level player, like is absolutely not just to be playing, but to be playing at his level is absolutely insane. So big props to him for
Yeah.
that. I think the fact that Bronny's in the league is a little whack. Like he was barely even producing at USC, literally like coming off the bench. And somehow he's a second round pick in the NBA. Like, what are we doing here? It's all for LeBron. It's obviously all the Lakers trying to appease LeBron. It's basically just a photo op at this point when Bronny comes in. Braun like strutting around right next to him. I was like, he's getting all the pictures with that. And it's like, what do we do? Yeah, he's pointing around and stuff. Yeah, exactly. It's just so cheesy and just so obvious that LeBron's just milking it for all it's worth. But yeah. So that's kind of my 2 cents. Did you see today? I saw a notification that he's going right down to the G League. So he really just popped up for a photo op, and he's just like, "All right, peace out, y'all. I'm going to G League."
Yeah, he's gonna go out. He's
So
gonna be
whack,
with them
dude.
for their like 5-game road trip, just because he's like with the team.
Oh,
so
is
it's
he?
like,
Okay.
yeah, and then I guess it's gonna be more like a 2-way. He will be with the first team, but he's gonna be like playing. Yeah, so yeah, it was inevitable. They just needed to get Bron and Bronny on the court, and now he's like, "You're gone." JJ's like, "Yeah, you suck. You're done." Speaking of JJ, the JJ Redick era is in full swing, and I love it. I love seeing
I
him
was just
out
gonna
there.
say if the Lakers have any hope this season, it's JJ Redick because I think he's got a lot of potential as a coach. So
Oh, for sure,
I
for
don't think
sure. Yeah,
he'll kill it right off the bat, but I think he can do some big things if LeBron will let
yeah,
him.
yeah. Big test tonight. They play the Suns, even though the Suns aren't like normally good. They just got a lot of firepower, and it'll be a good test to see if JJ's up for it
Yeah, they're
against.
pretty
Yeah,
mid based on who's on their team, aren't they?
yeah,
Got
for sure, for
Beal,
sure.
Booker, and KD, and can't do jack squat.
Can't do jack squat when it comes to the playoffs. Getting sweep by Ant Edwards every year, but
Every year, it's like what time?
I don't know, bro. I don't keep up with these things.
Okay.
I just say whatever comes to mind. No, but I think
Anyways.
KD has been swept the last 2 playoff
I
series
think he is too. Yeah,
in Brooklyn and then with the Suns. So not looking
loser,
too hot for KD.
loser.
Moving it along to the Warriors. They won their game in historic fashion. I think it was like what they went by like 25, 35 points or something like that. Blew out the Portland Trailblazers, who aren't very good anyway. So not,
Did you?
not yeah,
I was just gonna say, did you see the stat correction that they came out with on the
I did.
Trailblazers after their game? It's like after a further review, we need to add one free throw onto the point or whatever. So instead of 140 to 101, it is now 140 to 102 or something like that. It's like, oh,
Yeah,
great.
exactly. They're like,
Thanks.
oh, okay. Thanks for that, guys.
That
Throwing
guy's
him a
like,
bone.
yes, an extra point.
Yeah. Bigger news coming out though. Steve Kerr's saying that he's gonna run it with 12-man rotation. That's insane. That's like unheard of in the NBA. But uh, I don't think it's gonna last. Did you see anything about this, and what do you think about it?
Not really, but he's only got about 3 good players, so whatever. I don't know
Yeah,
how he's gonna do a 12 man rotation, but um, I have been the only thing I've really been seeing about the Warriors is just all the oh yeah we could have had this and oh yeah we could have been trading for like Draymond Green. I was obviously just talking, all off season and everything. He's like, yeah, we could have had Lauri Markkanen and Paul George, but Danny Ainge did Danny Ainge things or whatever or something like that. Basically, I'm just saying, yeah, we could have had a super team, but the other teams just didn't cooperate, man. Like, what are you even talking about, bro?
that's
I
how
was
it
like,
works.
whatever. But yeah,
Yeah,
I haven't really seen much on the 12-man rotation thing, but
yeah.
whatever.
I don't think it's super sustainable, but they do have a deep roster this year. They're saying it's probably one of the deepest that they've had, but it'll be interesting to see how that unfolds.
I like Kaminga a lot.
Yeah, Kuminga's good. They've been chopping him around though. I don't see they're
It's because they have
constantly
nothing else. Yeah.
they're constantly throwing away their future just to like keep the Steph window open, which I
Well,
get because Steph
they
has
have to. Yeah.
yeah, Steph still has like a good like what'd you say, like 4 to maybe 5 years. He could
Eh,
play forever, honestly. Like if he was just that
his
dude that
play
sat in the
style.
corner.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. His play style really, he'll be around for like, yeah, probably 4 or 5 years, probably. He's not one of those
Yeah,
guys that's just mainly relying on his athleticism. So, yeah, I could see
yeah.
him sticking around, but
Yeah,
yeah,
speaking
not
of
sure.
those guys that stand in the corner, and the Warriors, Klay Thompson with his new team,
Yeah,
historic
boy.
debut,
Yes,
six
sir.
four ten
Yes,
threes, looking good
sir.
for Dallas and
Yes,
Luca.
sir.
You watch this game. Tell me
I
how you
did.
feeling.
Dude, feel great actually. I was a little
Yeah.
bit skeptical about Clay just because he's been so off and on. Obviously, he'll be off and on, probably some throughout the season. But um, just seeing what the Mavs offense could look like on display was just absolutely insane. With Luca and Kyrie, some of the best shot creators, not only for themselves but for their teammates as well. Having a spot up guy that can um, hit a three, basically a 50-60% clip when he's open,
Right.
is absolutely insane. I think Clay's gonna become a lot more consistent because he's gonna get a lot more open looks. I mean, if you watch did you watch the highlights of this game?
I did a little bit, yes.
Clay was like, there wasn't a body within like 6 to 7 yards around him. Like,
Uh-huh.
did you see that one where Luca he passed him the ball and he was so open he started running back on defense doing like the old three thing or whatever? I was
Yeah.
like, dude, like so if he can get his three ball to where it's just as it's been in the past, like they're going to be super dangerous. I think at least offensively, and they have the hustle guys and Derek Lively and PJ Washington defensively and everything. So I don't know, man. Like the West is so stacked, but they're as dangerous as anybody. I think so.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. Keep it in the West. You watched the OKC game, right?
I did, dude. My
I did not
my
see this.
Thunder,
Tell us a
bro.
little about it.
It's good, man. Our obviously our chemistry is through the roof. Everyone always sees the interviews of the team afterwards of them, just barking and doing all their weird shenanigans and stuff. But obviously our team, just huge hustle, offense, defense. Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, his shot, he probably hit three of these where he's basically going at full speed, comes to a complete stop, pulls a three, and just like it just goes down every time. And it was against the
Yeah.
Nuggets as well, so not a pushover team as well. A
Uh-huh.
lot of people are down on the Nuggets this year. I don't really see that. I still think that they have their starting five is probably as good as any. You'll
Uh-huh.
find they picked up Westbrook, which a lot of people will roll their eyes and kind of scoff at, but he's obviously a hustler, plays really good defense most of the time, and he can get the offense going. I was watching some of his assists and everything last night. Obviously, he's still not a great shooter, but he can be a spark off the bench for them. But yeah, my Thunder looking really, really good. We got Charles Barkley predicting that we're going to win the championship at halftime this year. So, yeah, nothing like old Charles Barkley giving us a good prediction the first game of the season. So, we've gotten
Yes.
deeper too. We got Caruso. We also
Mm-hmm.
got Hartenstein, who's been hurt the last couple weeks. But
Oh, that's
when he
right.
comes back, dude, we're going to have a good beefy center to put up against guys like Jokic instead of just Chet Holmgren. So, yeah, I'm excited for this season for sure.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, you guys are looking solid. I honestly looked really good last year too. Came up a little
Number
bit
one seed,
short.
baby.
Just yeah, inexperience kind of, a lack of experience, but every year you just gain it and gain it and gain it and you just keep that talent. I mean, you guys are, the it's to the moon for you guys for
Mm-hmm.
sure. Speaking of Chuck and his weird just antics all the time. Did you see that this is the last season
Yeah,
for
inside the
what is it?
NBA.
Inside the NBA on
Yeah,
TNT. That is
rip.
kind of sad.
Super sad, dude. I
Makes me
remember,
tear up a little bit.
yeah, for sure. I remember it like in high school whenever I'd get up really early for the OKC playoff games and they would, this was like 12 years ago at this point. And it's just like, it's part of the childhood, obviously they've been doing it for a lot longer than that since like the 90s or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just super sad that, the networks and the money and everything, they can't come to a deal or whatever it's going on. So
Mm. Yeah,
sad.
and they're all getting old, so like they probably all want to
True.
kick back and do other things as well. They've been like
Yeah.
you've been saying, they've been doing it for a while, but
They've been dabbling in other stuff too. Like Charles and Shaq will like play golf with like Kelsey and Mahomes and stuff like
Yeah.
that, just random places. So I love Ernie, bro. Ernie's so underrated to
Yes,
me.
he
Ernie's the
is.
GOAT, dude. Like he's just I love Ernie so much, man.
Yeah,
His
no,
voice is so synonymous with that show and with the NBA.
it
It's
is.
crazy, but
Yeah, great. All timer for sure. But yeah, I think that's a pod, Sammy.
it is a pod.
Alrighty. We appreciate you guys again tuning in this week. We got lights going off, Helene hitting again, everything happening. That was funny when you said that early in the pod. I was like, dude, I lost all composure. But we appreciate you guys sticking with us even when our lights turn off and everything's going wrong. But we're back. We'll be back next week as well. Check us out on all our platforms: YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. We'd really appreciate if you guys shared and followed there and left a review. Yes, and once again, thanks again for listening, and we'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.